Greetings and various assorted salutations. This isn't an announcement video, but this is rather one of the ongoing series of Virtual Museum of the American Industrial Revolution Development Diary entries. I think we're almost, I forget what number we're at exactly, but it's more than 5. So to talk about spring 2020, what I did is I rebuilt the entire museum. I've decided that instead of rebuilding it every semester like I've been doing, instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a much smaller museum and build and expand it in a modular fashion. Because essentially what you can see over here, I've got different invention categories, which this list obviously is going to expand. And so as time goes along, there'll be new categories to expand upon. Likewise, Inventors is something new I've added this semester, and Tycoons. I'm hoping that in future semesters I'll be able to add business profiles as well. But this is the museum in its current build. We're going to dive into it. First off, Tycoons and businesses. We actually encountered an odd problem, and that is the picture of one of the business tycoons just did not come out well. This deferred decal looks hideous when it's converted from an image to a deferred decal. It's just all fuzzy. And it's odd because I followed the exact same procedure for the inventor panels, and they came out fine. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm going to have to investigate that more. But you can kind of see that it's very grainy. So the business tycoon section is rather small right now. It'll be built on, but this is the general area of where it'll lie. Eventually, I'd also like to incorporate business profiles. So just let me zoom in here. Like here, they have the list of some of the companies owned. I'd like to include profiles connecting, showing what these companies, information about these companies, like how many employees they had, what they were noted for, things like that. But need to figure out that template screen resolution, because it's really weird, because the tycoons use the exact same template as the inventors, and look at this. It's clear as day. The inventors profiles, I got 4 really good ones posted up here. But let's see, here's Alexander Graham Bell. The readability is on them very great, which is really weird because the other one, even this one which has more text, look at that. You can zoom in really close and it looks great no matter what. Fully legible. So I'm going to have to look at the templates for the inventor and the tycoons profile. I'm not sure why that one came out odd. Rolling on, I've this suspension bridge is from the previous build. I've basically copy and pasted it. I figured out how to do that from the beta build. I'm quite happy with it. As you can see, it looks down on a pit. And then right now we have some new inventions detailed here. We've got suburbs and we've got skyscrapers. So this is kind of the beginnings of an architecture section in this area right here. You'll notice that there's kind of windows, and that's because I'd like to I would like to go in and design how, okay, this is the skyscraper panel. I'd like for it to be looking out on a skyscraper. Likewise with this is suburbs. I'd like it to be looking out on some suburbs, like you're looking out a window. Kind of that setup. I need to work on figuring out how to build those. Here's the elevator description. That came out quite nice. Right now I'm just using the flying camera. I'm not using the game control things because I haven't built the elevator yet. When I updated Unreal Engine to a new version, they changed the way that you make these things like elevators and moving platforms, and I need to learn how to do that now. So we'll just descend, punch through the elevator floor. And then this is a new section as well. This is the transportation portion of the library, or of the museum, excuse me. We've got some older panels, some newer panels in here. Railroads, I'll have to put in the railroad assets I have, an airplane, etc. And then the elevator's got a 3-story feature right now, so you can use it to go down 3 levels when I have it fully programmed in. And then down here, I didn't really have a great way of organizing because I don't have a lot of inventions due to the rigorous high standards I put in that rubric I detailed previously. Not a lot of museum panels actually qualified to fit into the museum. But we did get a few. So obviously we'll have a category for like office stuff. Here's telecommunications with the radio. On here is kind of our domestic home life stuff. So we got the fridge, we've got the washing machine, we got a blank one, the tin can. I think I have a vacuum cleaner one up that it can be put up over here. We've got this kind of blank divider wall because obviously we'll have to redo this, but we've got electromagnetic generator, blast furnace, and dynamite. And what this is kind of representing is the early stages of a industrial section. Dynamite might go in mining, though. We'll see. I need to look at the inventions list and see. We already looked over there. And then we've got, this is the foundation of the agriculture section. We've got a barbed wire panel and a cotton gin panel. And that's kind of all we've got there right now. McCormick Reaper will be added at some point as well. And then you kind of walk out into here and there's nothing. And this is kind of the potential expansion. The invention floor and the transportation wings will be expanded and modified. And so really what we have here is this upper level up here. This is going to remain more or less the same. There might be more additions to factor in architecture. The transportation level is going to be kind of the basement level 2, and then this very lowest level is going to be where the inventions are scattered about. And I'm going to build it modular. One of the things I've been really focusing on is standardizing the displays. So like right here, we've got this cube setup. I've got some wall setups. This is a museum rail that I've got designed that I'll be using. There's another museum rail. I haven't used it yet. That's in here. That'll go in here as well. I've got a front desk now, kind of. So really, there's kind of a combination of filling out this world, but not doing it too much until I have all the panels built, which I imagine will take several semesters. And in fact, on that note, let's talk about some next semester things. I need to learn how to use Blender so that I can make assets. I have one student who actually made an asset. I just haven't put it in yet. I'm going to put that in soon, hopefully. But program in the elevator. And then for future semesters, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of my classes or some of my students, I haven't decided on the method, and instead of having them write brand new panels, I might have them refine, edit, and redo more research to improve panels that already exist. Because with the grading protocol that I put in, that grading rubric, I had a lot of entries that were good, but they need a little bit more work. And the students who worked on them got good grades, but they're not quite museum grade. But with a little bit of editing, I think they could be much better. And if I had a student, maybe a fresh set of eyes, look at it and refine it with some examples that I already have existing in the museum, we could have that as well. A vast, so have some students working on editing and refining. So which would be a slightly different angle of research. I do have some winners now. There will be some inventions that will be removed from the list. There'll be some inventors removed from the list as well because I got some good panels and I don't need people redoing those ones. So the project will shrink and expand. I'll have businesses available, but there'll be less inventions. I'll have tycoons and inventors available, but not the full original lists. Additionally, this will be a separate episode where I look at the Google Classroom setup and refine that further. There was something else I was considering doing. Oh, yeah. Build a release and scavenger hunt. So one of the ideas behind this museum activity is at some point I'd like to have a fully finished version that would allow me to kind of be like, hey, let's do a scavenger hunt where you have the students play the game. They get a list of things to look for, and then they go through the museum and find those things. Kind of like what you can do in a lot of museums. So I might build, when I have this further along, when I have the elevator working, I might build a very basic spring 2020 release with a scavenger hunt that people can play, and I might make it accessible on my classroom website. It kind of depends on whether or not I can get that elevator to work. Because it's going to be a 3-story elevator using the new setup that Unreal uses. But no, so I'm quite happy with this development. I'm going to look at getting that elevator working. That's the highest priority right now. There's a couple more panels, a few more panels I need to add in. But for the most part, the spring 2021 is pretty much set up. Develop a scavenger hunt. So, good show. I have plenty of time to work on it, thanks to circumstances. Anyways, so I guess until later.